Very good evening, everyone. Very warm welcome for our session today. And today we will be discussing a certain thing in our session, which might sound a little weird. It might even sound to you that does this actually happen? But then, if we are really aware of it, maybe we will be able to identify these things. We are continuing the process of healing addiction. Now, even I am confused. What name should I give this? Yesterday and day before yesterday, Monday and Tuesday, 2 days, we have already done healing for addiction. So we are healing this weakness of the soul, which is in the form of addiction. First day, Monday, we covered addiction, small, simple addictions like chocolate addiction, food addiction, fatty foods, oily foods, tea, coffee, sweets, chips, all these we covered on Monday. That whenever we consider that I cannot live without tea, I cannot live without coffee, what are we doing? We are making these things, tea, coffee, chocolate chips, sweets, more powerful than us. So, this way it becomes a weakness of the soul. Tuesday, yesterday, we covered that if we have any kind of alcohol addiction, drug addiction, smoking addiction, then this is again a very big weakness of the soul. Whenever we give in to our addictions, we take power away from us and we put it into that object, into that addiction substance. Another big, big weakness of the soul. Both needs to be healed. However, today the kind of addiction that we will be discussing is something very different. It is addiction to relationships. This is a different layer of addiction. This is a different type of addiction, which maybe many of us have, many of us suffer with this addiction, but we cannot identify it very easily. Addiction to relationships is something like this. When we have a certain pattern, we have certain activities, we have certain words, we have certain actions which are very, very usual in a relationship, we tend to get addicted to them. And eventually, what happens is those actions, those words, those behaviors, those patterns become more important than the relationship itself. This is the point where the problem starts. This is the point from where our soul starts getting hampered, our soul starts to suffer. We have to be aware of this stage and we have to heal this stage. Now, let me give simple examples to you. Also, let me convert it to you in Hindi and explain it. हम आज किस तरह के एडिक्शन को हील करने जा रहे हैं? रिलेशनशिप की एडिक्शन को. अब आप पूछोगे कि रिलेशनशिप में एडिक्शन क्या होती है भाई? अल्कोहल एडिक्शन तो पता है कि जब कोई जन अपना स्ट्रेस दूर करने के लिए बहुत अल्कोहल पीने लग जाता है. स्मोकिंग एडिक्शन के मुझे बस सिगरेट चाहिए. चॉकलेट एडिक्शन, टी कॉफी एडिक्शन के बस मुझे टी पीना है, कॉफी पीना है, ये तो चलो एडिक्शन हो गया. पर रिलेशनशिप का एडिक्शन क्या होता है? तो ये मैं आपको एक सिंपल एग्जांपल से समझाना चाह रही हूँ कि कई बार हम एक रिश्ते से ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंस उस रिश्ते में जो बातें हम करते हैं, जो शब्द हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जो एक्टिविटीज हम करते हैं, उन पे हम जब बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान देने लग जाते हैं और उन्हें फिक्स कर लेते हैं, चेंज नहीं करना चाहते, चेंज होने से हमें तकलीफ होती है, हम उस रिश्ते पे ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं, उस रिश्ते को ज्यादा महत्व नहीं दे रहे हैं, उसको ठीक रखने की कोशिश नहीं कर रहे हैं, बट उन बातों को, उन शब्दों को, उन आदतों के ऊपर जब हम ज्यादा ध्यान देने लग जाते हैं, तब ये एक एडिक्शन में ट्रांसफर हो जाता है और तब ये एक रिश्ते के लिए बहुत डेंजरस हो जाता है. So now I will give you simple examples. I will take the most common examples of a girlfriend and boyfriend. Okay. So say for example, a girlfriend and a boyfriend have a habit. Now habits become addiction. Okay. Habits is the initial stage. Then they become an addiction. Say for example, the girlfriend and boyfriend have a habit of saying I love you to each other whenever they call. Whenever they call, the first thing they say is I love you, and when they hang up the phone, and the last thing they say is I love you. Now say example, the boyfriend is going through tremendous stress. His head is not in the right position, he's having financial problems, and his boss is shouting and screaming on him. Maybe his parents are not listening to him. Maybe he's going through a tough time. Before putting the phone down, he shares all this problem with his girlfriend. Before putting the phone down, he forgets to say I love you. Now what happens to the girlfriend is the addiction takes over. She forgets the story that the boyfriend is in stress, he's going through a tough time, he's having a problem. The only thing that remains in his mind is, he did not tell me I love you. And he just kept the phone. Oh, he doesn't love me anymore. अब वो मुझसे प्यार नहीं करता, उसने फोन छोड़ने से पहले मुझे I love you नहीं बोला. And this happens for the second time, and it happens for the third time, gone. The relationship is out of the window, the love is outside the window, and everything is gone and disappeared. The only thing that remains is, ये इतने सालों की आदत थी आई लव यू बोलना, क्यों नहीं बोला फोन छोड़ने से पहले, या फोन उठाते ही क्यों नहीं बोला? Because he doesn't love me anymore. See, now he's got a job and now he's busy with his boss. And God save you if your boss is a lady. Everything will be forgotten. You will only remember that he did not tell you I love you before keeping the phone down or after raising the phone. What is happening out here? Your addiction is becoming more important than the relationship to you. Say for example, there's a usual habit that the wife always waits for dinner. It's a usual habit that the wife, no matter what time the husband comes, the wife always waits for dinner. Say for example, one particular day the wife was extremely hungry. She felt like eating her dinner. The husband comes back home and sees the wife has already had her dinner, and now this becomes a cause of problem. How did you have dinner before me? You don't love me anymore. You don't take care of me anymore. I came late. You could have waited for me. What is happening? You now do not consider what is the issue. You do not consider the problem. You do not consider what is the reason for this change of behavior. You just act because of your addiction. Because you are addicted to this fact that you both sit and have dinner together. Now this has not remained a small habit anymore. This has gone to the level of addiction. And हम ये चीजें बहुत सारी जगह करते हैं, बहुत सारे लोगों के साथ करते हैं, even with our friends. If we are aware, अगर हम थोड़ा सा सोचने लग जाए तो हम एक्चुअल में देखेंगे कि हमारे दोस्तों के साथ भी, हमारे पेरेंट्स के साथ, हमारे अपनों के साथ, जिनके साथ हम बहुत ज्यादा कनेक्टेड है, उनकी बातें, उनके कहे हुए शब्द, उनके कहे हुए एक्शंस हमारे लिए एक लेवल पे एडिक्शन तक चली गई है. हम उनके चेंज को बर्दाश्त नहीं कर सकते. And that causes us a lot of emotional problem, that causes a lot of suffering, that causes us a lot of pain. And if it is not handled in the right time, it causes us a problem in our relationship. Initially, this was not even in my mind. मुझे पता भी नहीं था कि ये एक addiction हो भी सकता है. But when I started counseling people, and many people came up to me with their stories, with their problems, I actually listened to their problems and I realized that this is happening because of their addictions in the relationship. मेरे बच्चे हमेशा ऐसे ही बात करते हैं, आज क्यों नहीं किया? सबको नए जॉब लग गए हैं. Say for example, the children have a habit of having breakfast together, or they have a habit of spending time with their parents together. Now they have got into a new job, so they don't have much time. So they are not sitting down for the breakfast, or they are not spending time with their parents or their grandparents in the morning. Now, because of the long-term addiction to this time period which is spent together, the parents start feeling that the children don't love them anymore. You have to understand that situation is changing. It is just that your children don't have the time anymore, but nothing has gone wrong with their love. They still love you as much. But maybe their work is new, they are not getting the time to sit down with you, and things need to change. But what is stopping you from accepting the change? The addiction weakness within you. It will not allow you to change. It was very tough for me to explain this to people when I was doing their counselings, that you need to be more flexible. You need to understand that when situations change, when times change, when people go through a lot of stress, when people go through a lot of challenges in their life, it is not possible to do exactly what you were doing every single day of your life. You're not a robot. Your life is not fixed. Things will go up and down. But if you are too much addicted to certain habits, to certain patterns, to certain tendencies in your life, you will be the one who are suffering. आपको दुख पहुंचेगा, आपको तकलीफ होगा जब वो चीजें नहीं होंगी तब. वो चीजें क्यों नहीं हो रही है? क्योंकि वक्त बदल गया है, सिचुएशन ज्यादा टफ हो गए हैं. लेकिन हमारा दिमाग हमें बोलेगा कि सामने वाला हमसे प्यार नहीं करता, because we are addicted. You will see that you won't feel like eating food. आपके वाइफ ने आपके पहले खाना खा लिया है, so what? You will say, आज मुझे भूख नहीं है, हम खाना नहीं खाएंगे. Actually, this is going to happen to you. You won't feel like eating food without your wife. Why? Because 10 years you have got addicted to this thought form that you and your wife will sit down together and have dinner. Just because your wife has had the food before, you won't feel like eating the food. Maybe you can take other examples, as I was talking about friends. दो दोस्तों की आदत है कि जब भी कोई नया मूवी रिलीज होता है, वो दो दोस्त साथ में वो मूवी देखते हैं, कभी एक दूसरे के बिना नहीं देखा. Situations have changed. Both the friends are now doing different jobs or something. One time the friend sees a movie with other friends. Now this friend says, हम तो अब ये मूवी देखेंगे ही नहीं. क्यों? क्योंकि उसने क्यों देख लिया मेरे बिना? You will not be able to accept changes in your life if you are addicted to habits in your life. You have to be aware, क्या ऐसा आपके साथ हो रहा है? क्या ऐसा किसी भी रिश्ते में ऐसा है कि आप उन आदतों के साथ जुड़े हुए हो? Even to words. Now, I cannot even tell you how many times I have seen couples fight. I have seen people fight just because they have used the same word for somebody else. It might sound very silly, but why am I saying this? Because I have practically seen this happening. I will really not like to take names, but I've seen one couple used to have, a nice name for the other one. Say a boyfriend used to call the girlfriend by a different name. And by mistake or by whatever, he just happened to use that same name, that same term for somebody else. Gone. That couple fought for weeks and weeks just on this one point. Why did you use that word for somebody else? It is my word. I actually heard that lady saying this. That word belongs to me, that name belongs to me. Why did you use that word for somebody else? Yes, to some extent, you can say it is over possessiveness. And to some extent, it is just addiction to that word. You can't live without hearing that word. Or maybe the boyfriend did not call her by that name for a couple of days and that turned into a big fight. And the first thing that comes to the mind is, he doesn't love me anymore. Just because that word was not used, just because that name was not used, just because that action was not done. This is severe form of addiction. You have to be aware, क्या ये आपके साथ हो रहा है? Are you addicted to someone in such a way? Are you addicted to the habits of some people in this way? Even for yourself, when you are addicted to habits, even check for yourself. Say, for example, I have a habit of getting up every day in the morning and going for a morning walk. Can I live without going for the morning walk for a day? There are some people who will get panicky and who feel very unwell if they cannot go for the morning walk. Whether it is raining, whether it is a thunderstorm, whether it is chilling outside, they have to go for a walk. Going for a walk is a very good habit, but if it has become your addiction, it's not good. Any addiction in this world is not good. Even getting addicted to good things is not good. Addiction to prayers, addiction to going to a temple. When you know that I go to a temple every single day for the last 30 years of my life, every day I've gone to this temple. Fantastic, good. You are dedicated, you have a lot of devotion to God. Very good. But what if one day you cannot go? Do you feel that my world is going to come to an end because I have not been able to go to this temple? Then that is addiction. If you feel that without doing this one thing in my life, without this one person in my life, without this one action in my life, I cannot live, then that is going to become a weakness of your life. Even if it is something positive, even if it is something good, it's not good. So today's session is something very different. It will, maybe most of us do not have some addictions, but many of us might have. Think about it. Are you addicted to some kind of an activity, some kind of a habit? Some people are addicted to meditations. Too much of meditations. अगर एक दिन जिंदगी में मेडिटेट वो नहीं कर पाए हैं तो उनको लगता है जैसे जिंदगी में कुछ बड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो गया है. Maybe one day of their life or once upon some action is taking place. Maybe they are going to the hospital. Maybe somebody is not well in their house. So they cannot meditate for one single day and they cannot accept this fact. If you are addicted to my sessions, then again, check. Can you go without the sessions one time? If you are consistent, it is very good. Consistency is a good habit of the soul. Consistency is going to give you good results. But if that has become necessity for you, if you cannot go without it, if one day you know you are compromising other things because of this session. Now let me say, you all are saying session, right? So say for example, one day one of your family members is not well exactly at 4:30 p.m. One of your family members is not well. He or she wants you to be with them. He or she wants you to sit and heal them. But still you're saying, no, I don't care. 4:30 p.m., I need to go and attend the session. If somebody is dying, let that person die. This is addiction. This is not good. This is not good. You might just say that, okay, today my priority is my family. Today my priority is to attend this person. Yes, you have the recordings. You can always watch the recordings. If you are dedicatedly joining at 4:30 p.m., that is superb. I love you for that. But if it has become your addiction, then try to analyze that. Think about it. Is it an addiction? Many people feel that they just cannot leave any session, not only for me, but anyone. If there is a post of a session, I must attend it. चाहे कुछ भी हो जाए, दुनिया इधर से उधर हो जाए, मुझे तो वो सेशन अटेंड करना ही है. क्यों? क्योंकि अगर सेशन अटेंड नहीं करेंगे तो हमें कहीं ना कहीं लगता है हमसे पता नहीं क्या छूट जाए. This is called the fear of losing out, fear of missing out. It's like we have a senior instructor, Sriram, and he calls it FOMO, fear of missing out. He says that if you are attending every session, you're attending every course, you're attending every lecture, you're not missing out on anything, then that is also an addiction because you have got addicted to those sessions. It is also not good. You have to understand that if I am attending a session, I must also practice. I must give time to that practice. I must gain something out of that session. सिर्फ पैसे देके वो सेशन लेना जरूरी नहीं है. Wow, that's superb. If you are actually practicing it, that is fantastic. But here is the point. Be aware. Have you got addicted to it? That is my question. So be aware of your energy. Addiction to anything is not good for you. Even if it is something good, even if it is something positive, if you have taken it to the level of addiction, it's not good. Okay, so today we will try to be aware of this fact, whether we are addicted to certain action. It can be even a habit, as I said, morning walk, exercises, meditations, anything, addictions to makeup. Yes, excess of anything is poison. Absolutely correct. For example, you want to look good. Superb, look good. But if that has gone up to the level of addiction that when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is put up some makeup. You have not even brushed, but you want to put up some makeup so that you look good the first time you look into the mirror. That is addiction. Before going to bed, you are doing a makeup so that I look good before I go to bed. That is addiction. You need to be aware. Cleanliness. If you want to be clean and tidy, super, fantastic. But you have taken it up to the addiction level that even if I'm touching my water bottle, I'm going to go and wash my hand. That is addiction. That is becoming obsessive compulsive disorders. Why am I stopping you today? This session is going to actually stop you from going towards obsessive compulsive disorders. Having good habits is extremely good, but taking that habit up to the level of an addiction is the problem. So be aware today. That is the reason why today this is the session, and the third session that I'm taking on addiction, because this is also addiction. Healing patients, I have seen there are some healers who constantly heal. They constantly move their hands and they're constantly healing one patient after the other patient. If they have half an hour gap, if there's no patient whom they cannot, if there's a half an hour gap and they don't have a patient, they start feeling bad. I have to heal. Yes, too much of time constraint, too much of punctuality. अगर 12:05 हो गया है, there's a problem. 12 बजे खाना चाहिए तो चाहिए. 12:05 हो गया है, I'm going to scream and shout and I'm not going to eat only. I will not eat after 12 o'clock. This severity is addiction. So whenever you are taking any habit to an extreme level, that is an addiction. And this is not good for the soul. The soul must learn flexibility. The soul must learn how to be peaceful with or without something. Now, this is the main mantra. After 3 days of addiction healing, I'm giving you this main mantra for the soul. The soul must learn to be peaceful with or without something and anything. है अच्छा, नहीं है तो भी अच्छा. The power to the soul will be given that day when you will be able to be peaceful, calm, relaxed with something, without something. Whether good, whether bad. आज कोई मेरा बहुत ध्यान रख रहा है, कोई मेरा बहुत ख्याल रख रहा है. Very nice, very good. I'm happy, I'm peaceful. वही इंसान कल मेरा ध्यान नहीं रख रहा है, कल वो मेरा ख्याल नहीं रख रहा है, कोई बात नहीं. Today I'm getting lots of food, lots of nice food, nice dishes, chocolates, food, tea, coffee, everything in time. शाम का 4 बज रहा है, मेरे लिए चाय आ गया. शाम का 6 बज रहा है, मेरे लिए मेरा इवनिंग स्नैक्स आ गया. रात का 9 बज रहा है, I'm getting my dinner. Fantastic. Tomorrow, because of some reason, all the timings is going up and down. No problem. It's okay. Perfectly fine. Today, I have lots of time. I can attend sessions. I can go to meditations. I'm doing my Arabic practices. I'm doing everything in time. Superb. Tomorrow, because of some emergency going on in my life, maybe the timing is going up and down. Maybe I have to adjust my meditations. I have to leave one session. I have to do some adjustments temporarily. It's still fine. It's okay. I'm peaceful. I'm calm. This brings power to the soul. This gives the power to the soul. Yes, exactly. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Sumanji. छोटी छोटी बातों को नजरअंदाज करना सीखना होगा हमें. इतनी छोटी छोटी बातें कि लोगों का अपने हैबिट से बदल जाना, हैबिट से डिफरेंट कुछ होना, आदतों से अपने आप को आदतों में नहीं बांधना. इस चीज को सोल को सीखना होगा. टू लर्न फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. मैं फिर से रिपीट करूंगी एक बात. मैं हर दिन सुबह 6 बजे नींद से उठती हूँ. बहुत अच्छी आदत है, बहुत अच्छी आदत है. लेकिन एक दिन किसी कारण मैं 6 बजे नहीं उठ पाई, या मैं किसी कारण कोई इमरजेंसी चल रहा है मेरे घर पे, मैं सोने ही गई सुबह के 4 बजे, मैं 6 बजे नहीं उठूंगी. यहां मेरे सोल को डिस्टर्ब नहीं होना चाहिए. यहां मुझे टैंट्रम्स नहीं शो करना चाहिए. क्यों 4 बज गया, मुझे 6 बजे उठना है, मैं आज 6 बजे क्यों नहीं उठ पाई. देखो 6:15 हो गया है या 7 हो गया है. ओ माय गॉड, आई विल टर्न एवरीथिंग अपसाइड डाउन. आई विल स्क्रीम, आई विल शाउट, आई विल गो इनटू गिल्ट. मैं 6 बजे क्यों नहीं उठ पाई. यहां प्रॉब्लम है मुझे. क्यों? क्योंकि यहाँ आप अपने सोल को ट्रबल कर रहे हो आपके फिजिकल बॉडी के एक आदत के लिए. दिस इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू कन्वे टू यू. सोल को असली पावर उस दिन मिलेगा जिस दिन सोल हर हालत में पीसफुल रह सकेगा. अगर आदत वाइज चीजें हो रही है, बहुत अच्छा. नहीं हो रही है, कोई बात नहीं, हम फ्लेक्सिबल है, हम एडजस्ट कर लेंगे, हम चीजों को समझेंगे, हम दिमाग का इस्तेमाल करेंगे कि क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, क्या प्रॉब्लम है, क्यों चीजें बदल रही है, why is the person in front of me changing the regular habit, is something wrong out there, is he or she going through some problem, is something better going to happen. This is the power to the soul. When we let our soul dance around because of a habit, this is a weakness to the soul. When we allow ourselves to become, susceptible, or when we react to the conditions around us because of our addiction, that is the weakness of the soul. And when we can say, I, the soul, I am in charge, I am powerful, I will not let anything disturb my peace. This is the power to the soul. So this will only come when we are aware of it. जब हम इस चीज को धीरे धीरे प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. Now I will give you my example. मैं किसी और की बात नहीं कर सकती. I will give you my own example. I love having a cup of hot tea in the morning before my aerobic practices because that gives me a nice composed feeling. One day I just woke up, I came out of my room, and usually my cook keeps that hot cup of tea ready for me. One day there was no tea. I came out of my room and I saw there was no tea. And I got so disturbed. I felt, how can I do my Arabic practices now? There's no tea. I might feel sleepy, I might feel this, I might feel that. And it suddenly struck me, oh my God, if my peace, I'm going to do my meditations, I'm going to do my practices. If my peace is getting disturbed just because of a cup of tea, just because my cook forgot, or maybe he was in a hurry, or maybe something happened and he forgot, and I'm allowing my soul to get disturbed because of this cup of tea, I was actually shaken up. I thought, what am I doing, Pyali? What are you doing? You're allowing a cup of tea to damage your soul's peace. And that day, I really realized that how weak we become because of our addictions. That morning cup of tea had become my addiction. It is a small thing, but it affected me. From that day onwards, till now, I have tried. It has taken time. सच में वक्त लगा मुझे उस मॉर्निंग कप ऑफ टी के बिना मेडिटेशन और सब कुछ में जाने के लिए. But now I am at peace. If sometimes I don't get the tea, it does not bother me. चाय के बिना करेंगे. चाय मिल गई, बहुत अच्छा, चाय पी के कर लेंगे. So I am giving you this example so that you realize that you need to be aware where you have fallen into an addiction. It can be something very small. It can be something very big. But ultimately, it is a weakness of the soul. You cannot allow your soul to become disturbed just because of your addiction. Whether good, whether bad. Having a cup of tea is a good thing, right? But when it disturbed my soul, it became bad. And this is what I wanted to project to you today in the third day. As Tisa then, and that's the reason why I'm projecting this to you. Because now we have done 2 days of healing already. We have covered the severe weaknesses, the severe addictions. Now is the time to move on to more subtle addictions. More lighter, but still they are addictions. We need to identify them and heal them. Okay? So let us do this together. If you don't have such thing, fantastic, congratulations, you have grown a lot. For me, I still have to grow a lot because I am now being able to identify my addiction points. So I am growing, every day I am growing. I'm becoming better and better by identifying them and working on them. So let us do this together. I will request you. Wow, that's superb. That's very nice, Sumanji, that you're trying to work on these things. Yes, fasting. When we try to do certain things so that we know we have more control over our food, but uh, control में, वो भी control में. Because say for example, I'm giving an example. Say for example, one day by mistake you don't remember and you eat something. शायद आप अचानक से भूल गए, आपको ध्यान नहीं रहा और आपने कुछ खा लिया. अब इस लेवल पे जाके खुद को पनिश मत कीजिए. Oh God, how did I eat it? Why did I break my fast? कुछ महान गलती हो गया है मुझसे. ऐसा मत सोचिए, क्योंकि अगर आप ऐसा सोच रहे हो तो you have got addicted to your fasting. वो भी नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर मुझसे गलती हो गई है कोई बात नहीं, शायद आज मेरी फिजिकल बॉडी को इसका जरूरत था, हो गया. Let it be. I will continue with my process. यही पे मैं बोलना चाहती हूँ, डिफरेंस बिटवीन अ गुड हैबिट एंड addiction. ठीक है? So let's begin. Let's start. We will do one forgiveness with ourselves, because any addiction hurts us, harms us. So we will do the forgiveness with ourselves, and then we will do the twin heart meditation. So I request everyone, please close your eyes for once. Take a deep breath. And be aware, try to be aware. Do you have any such action in your life, any such object, any such person, any such word, any such activity which causes you a lot of disturbance, which hampers your mental peace, which disturbs you completely? If it is not the way usually it happens, whether that be any word, whether that be any action, whether that be any person, whether that be any behavior, whether that be any food, whether that be any thought form, if someone is changing their thought form, you become disturbed. आपका एक दोस्त है जो हमेशा आपके हाँ में हाँ मिलाता है, आज वो अगर ना बोल रहा है, अगर वो आज अपना डिफरेंट ओपिनियन रख रहा है आपके सामने, आप डिस्टर्ब हो जा रहे हो. Why? Because this person is thinking differently than you. Is this happening with you? Have you got addicted to certain habits of yours? Morning walk, the timing of your food, the timing of your meals, meditation sessions, healing, book reading. I cannot go to sleep without reading a book. One day you don't have a book to read, something is happening, कुछ तो हो रहा है जिसके वजह से आपको कुछ पढ़ने में नहीं मिल रहा है, आप सारी रात सो ही नहीं पाए. This is addiction. Or you become, आपको चिड़चिड़ापन आ जाता है कि मुझे आज किताब पढ़ने क्यों नहीं मिला. This is addiction. So be aware. If you have good habits, congratulate yourself. Pat your back. I have a good habit. Fantastic. I have a good habit of reading books. I have a good habit of sleeping on time, waking up on time, eating my food on time. Very good. But if it has gone up to the level of addiction, if it is disturbing your mental peace, if it is making you do certain things which you don't want to do, if it is affecting your relationships, be aware, be aware, be aware. Imagine, visualize you are a beautiful, brilliant white light. You are the soul. As a soul, you are much, much more powerful than any habit, than any action, than any word, than any food, than anything on planet Earth. You are the soul, you're pure, you're powerful. Your biggest strength is your peace. Don't let your strength go away just because of a small thing, a small addiction. No, it's not worth it. Put your hands in front of your heart. Look at yourself. Look at your own self and say Atma Namaste. Take your name and say Atma Namaste, Pyali, Atma Namaste. I, the soul, humbly salute the divinity within you. There is God within you. And God is so much more powerful. I, the soul, I, the child of God, I realize that my habits are not more powerful than me. I am the soul, I am more powerful. So I forgive you. I forgive you for each and every time you disturbed my peace of mind because of your habits. I forgive you for each and every time you allowed your habits to become more powerful than me. I forgive you for each and every time you generated a negative karma because of your habits, because of your addictions. I forgive you for every time you hampered my relationships just because of some addiction, just because of some words, some behavior, some habits, some patterns. I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. I, the soul, I have learned my lessons. I have realized that my relationships are more important than the habits. I realize that my mental peace is more important than my habits. I realize that I, the soul, I am much more powerful than my habits. I realize that whenever some changes happen in my life, whether good, whether bad, I must be peaceful. I must not let these affect me. I must not react. I must be calm. I must understand that the world is full of changes. Changes is the only permanent thing in this world. I must be flexible. I must accept changes easily. I, the soul, I have learned my lessons. And I am truly, deeply, sincerely sorry for my mistakes. I'm sorry for everything that I have done wrong in my life. I'm sorry for every time I have given more priority to habits, to words, to emotions than my life and my relationships. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. May the divine supreme God bless us with his love, mercy, compassion, and forgiveness. May the divine supreme God neutralize all our negative karma. May peace be with me. May peace be with me. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May all negative cause that is attached to me, especially to my addictions, be cut, cut, cut. Let us together invoke that the beautiful energy of the twin heart meditation that will come down within us, it is going to heal us completely. It is going to make us more aware. Where are we making our mistakes? Where are we getting addicted? It is going to make us more aware to identify the weaknesses of our soul, whether it be a good addiction or a bad addiction. And addiction is always going to harm the soul. May the love, light, and power of this twin heart meditation heal us completely today. We are super receptive in full faith. So be it.